Bonjour les enfants, faites attention s'il vous plaît. Ça suffit. I said, that's enough. Toastmasters, friends, the expressions on your faces, a mixture of incomprehension and indifference, take me back 40 years to my first job as a rookie French teacher. That was an exciting time. Against the odds, I graduated from training college. Against greater odds, I'd been offered a well-paid job on a government contract teaching in Africa. Against all the odds, I was engaged to be married. But there was a problem. The job offer was dependent on my getting a reference from a school in my own country. So I signed up for emergency supply work in my home city of Glasgow, and resolved to take the first job that came up. And there it was, Springbank Secondary, French teacher, 3-month contract. Yes, perfect. Well, not really. Springbank was the roughest school in the roughest part of town, a school which boasted, if that's the word, more graduates from penal institutions than academic ones. My first week, an experienced teacher, nicknamed the Devil, takes me aside. Listen, son, I know you want to do your best. Just remember, the kids here, they're bandits, every one of them. Except he didn't use the word bandits. I was allocated classes at the lower end of the school, 13 and 14-year-olds who didn't see education as their route to a better future. My first month was a baptism of fire. It wasn't that I was struggling to keep order, because that ship had sailed early on. I was struggling to stop chaos from becoming outright mayhem. I brought in new systems of discipline with varying degrees of success. They varied from bad to worse. Things came to a head one afternoon when I confronted one of the ringleaders, Big Billy Arnott, by accident. Billy was a difficult pupil on a good day, and this was not a good day. This was a day when he was out of control. In desperation, I went up to his desk to slam down the lid and catch his attention. What I didn't notice was Billy's hands were inside the desk. The lid crashed down on Billy's knuckles. Before I could ask if he was okay, he was on his feet and heading for the door. Where do you think you're going? I'm going home. I'm going to get my dad. I didn't like the sound of that. Billy's family had a fearsome reputation. I did not want to meet even bigger Billy Arnott. Certainly not then. So why did I say what I said next? That's right, William. You go home, get your father, bring him back here, and I'll explain exactly what your behaviour has been like. Astonishingly, Billy paused. And for once in my classroom, you could have heard a paper dart land. After an eternity, Billy sloped back to his desk. Massive sigh of relief. But after class, I went to the headmaster to tell the story, worried that my reference and career were in jeopardy. But he laughed off the incident. Things will get easier for you now. Really? You must have noticed my classes are chaos. I'll tell you what I've noticed. This is a tough school, and you are doing your best. You're better than you think. In Glasgow, that counts as a compliment. And in the days that followed, the class was quieter, even Billy. And in that quieter space, some learning did take place. Just not French, and not just the kids. We'd reached a section in the book about the lives of teenagers in France. In these lessons, the children would sometimes talk about their own lives, the poverty, the addictions, the violence. Do you remember a time when you saw you had everything wrong? These kids are not bandits, more like heroes, adults before their time, doing their best to keep a family together, doing their best to help younger ones, doing their best to survive. The week I was due to leave, the pupils of 2F7, Billy's group, asked to see me after class. I was puzzled, pretty sure they wouldn't be asking for homework. The reality was truly shocking. Wedding presents and cards wishing me well for my future, made by their own hands. I was stunned and moved, and even now, across 40 years, the emotion of that moment comes back to me. I got what I needed from Springbank. The head gave me my reference. Those children gave me something else, a point of reference for people doing their best in difficult lives. And maybe you are in a difficult life moment with a boss, with a family member, with money worries. And maybe you don't have all the answers today. The chances are you're better than you think. And if you can say, hand on heart, I am doing my best, then you can write your own reference, and you can make it a good one.